recording. Okay, I believe I'm now recording, hopefully, and I'll share the screen. And this is for the VCAL class, especially those who didn't come to period 5 today. And today happened to be the 16th of February, 2021. So the first thing I want to do is show you how to set up a form. So I'm just going to go into our classroom. And we're working on the gambling mini assignment. There are 2 articles to read, but here, and this is specifically, this is really only for the 11th task or the 11th question. Design a survey about youth gambling and send it to 10 people. Get the results and include them in this document in graphical format. So I'm going to show you that. So you'd need to open this up if you're going to add anything into it. We'll come back to this one later on when it's opened to add a graph. And I'll show you what else you can pop in to prove that you've actually done this task. All right. So the first way of setting up a form, I find, is to go to a tab, open up Google Drive, all working very slowly. And I stick most of my classwork in a folder called curriculum. And I do have a VCAL folder, VCAL 2021. And these 2 are the little demo that I showed the class. And I might end up using them rather than getting responses from people. So I'll explain what happens. But anyway, so the way to set up a form is I'm here, I go to new, I want a form. And needs a name. It's probably too fancy for a name. If I double click here, that should become the name of the document. Yep. And what I did with the, in my previous demonstration was turn this into a quiz. But I didn't need to turn it into a quiz. So if I turn it into a quiz, it's like a test. The word quiz is a test where you can actually put answers in as well, so that when someone submits the form, it gets marked. But I didn't actually want to do that. But I did show the other members of the class that step, but I didn't need to. So in my first question on the demo one, I was asking how many questions students would like in their quiz. Because I'll get out of the way. I hate that. I want to access my work here. Will you get out of the way? Yes, you will. Okay. So you need, I specified here to send it to 10 people, but I didn't tell you how many questions to include. So the students who came and saw the live demo that were asked how many questions, but you're not going to get asked that question. I'm already deciding how many questions you're going to do. You're going to do 7, but I'm only going to give a demo of 3. Now, after having watched that Melbourne Uni video, you should be able to have an opinion there. So that sort of question, do you have a, I think it'll be a multiple choice, but it's going to be a, you're either going to think this is true or you're going to think this is false. Whoops. False. That's question 1. You're going to have 7 questions. I'm only going to have a few. Next question. Oh, now I'm in the way. Accessing things a little bit difficult. Do you think gambling is a youth problem? And again, I can have, this time I'll have a yes or a no. Let's have a number one here now. Caps lock. Now, I'm not suggesting these would be questions you'd use. You're going to make up who gamble. This one I might have, I'll make it multiple choice, but I won't make it a number one. So I'm going to have none. So you don't know anyone who gambles. Let's have a few. And several is a bit more. Many or most of the people I know. Pity about that small L. Small light. I will fix it. For those who are AC/DC, you might get upset. Whoops, it's still there. Let's just have one more question. This is going to be a short answer, so you can write a little bit about what you think the social impact of gambling is. So, because it's a Google form, it's saving as it goes. So everything I've put in there has been saved. Now I want to send it out to people. So I never usually use this. If I click here, I'll start typing names in, but I'm a person who likes to grab the link, shorter link, and I copy it. And then to send it to people, I'm going to go and compose. So I'm just going to send it, you got to send it to 10, but I'll send it to just myself. Actually, I'll send it to myself a few times. So that's my school email, which is me. I'm going to send it to me. I'm going to show you how to fill it in a moment, and then what happens. And then I'm going to send it to my education department one. There's me. If you were typing in school kids, it pops up quite readily because I've already sent one to 1, 2, 3, 4, should have been 6 people. I only got read receipts. Now, if you're wondering whether this person you've sent it to is actually going to read it, you can always ask for a read receipt. It appears that when staff read them, you don't necessarily get one, which is what happened in the demo period. But when students are asked for one, it automatically comes that I know. So I'm going to ask for that. And this, please complete this gambling questionnaire. Is that how you spell questionnaire? Maybe. Didn't suggest. And then I'm just going to pop the link in there, and you'll see in my email what happens in a moment. So it's come to me, and I should get another one from that other email in a moment. But anyway, let's go and answer it. So you would have sent it to 10 people, and each person would open up the email, click on the link. I did click on the link. Okay, didn't click it properly. Do you think gambling is a public? And that you can type what you think is correct. And remember, you're going to have your own questions. to see. So that's me. Okay. And then I submit. So hopefully those 10 people that you've sent it to will submit. And then I go back to my here, and there's my thingo. I've only got one response. Whoops. There is one response, which has happened to be me. I'm going to move myself. I'm in the way. Well, come over here. Okay. And it shows that 100% of people thought it was true because I'm the only one to respond. And then there's a written part. So I did show the other class that I could open in a spreadsheet and get more data. Come on, I'll create. But I don't think that's necessary with only 10 questions. So what I'll do, I'll go back here, and where it says put a graphical thing in, why don't I just use the snipping tool, copy the chart? I can use that instead of the snipping tool down here. I could have used the snipping tool as well. I'll come back. I'm not going to copy that yet because I've got this copy in the memory. And then I go back to my document, wherever it is, the one I've opened, and plonk that in. Okay, so if I do that, I have my questions there. Just put a couple of your questions and responses in so that I know you've actually done it properly. The other way would be to go back here and just take a screenshot of this, listing the people who responded, something like that. So I may ask to see the questionnaire, or I may not, depending whether I think you've done the work or not. So when I had the other class, I got 6 responses. This was the demo. So I got 6 responses. So I know who submitted. Because I made it a quiz, it was asking for a score, but I didn't select what the answers would be. There's my true or false. And there's one where they had to write down about gambling, types of gambling. And then I also put that into a spreadsheet. No, not that spreadsheet. This one already exists inside my drive. Nope, wrong one again. I'll go back to my drive. This one. So I can see the results. Only one had gambling. So that is how to do the little form. That could come in useful a few times during the course. I'm going to shut all those. Make myself big again, hopefully. Where am I? No, I want to go big again. No. I should be able to show small. No, I want to go for the whole hog. Sorry about that. There we go. Let's make it a little bit bigger. That'll probably do. So what you've seen is how to set up a form. So before you actually go to do the mechanics of the form, you really should work out which questions you're going to ask and who you're going to send it to. And try and send it to people who are more likely to respond. All right. So that is the end of that. And I've got to open this up properly, or I can't find the close button. Wow. Come on, Zoom. Let me. No. There we go. What's happened? Meeting controls. Ah, end.